All right, so my first video in a long time, very long time, probably like over a year. So I'm just gonna get on here. I'm not trying to do any special, like, you know, anything super creative. I just getting on here and chit-chatting for a little bit to kind of update you guys, tell you where I've been, what's been going on, and things of that nature. So first of all, disclaimer, don't mind the situation back here. Hopefully it'll get better soon. Before I start, I just want to say welcome to all the new subscribers. I've been still getting subscribers even though I have not uploaded in over a year. I know it's been over a year. I've been going through some things and I'm about to share them with y'all. But I thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for not unsubscribing. I appreciate all the comments, you know, the views, that people are still watching some of the videos that I've posted. You guys are great and I appreciate you guys. Where do I start? I haven't seen you guys since the pandemic, which is when I should have been recording, but it was so much going on that I just couldn't. So, where should I start? Okay, let's just jump into it. So pandemic comes, and about March of last year, I got sent home from work. We were furloughed from work in March of 2020, I believe. Yeah, March of 2020. And I was there at home by myself throughout the whole pandemic. I was by myself. At first it was like all good, and then it just got really lonely, and I just started getting really depressed, and I wasn't letting on to it. I wasn't, you know, I would talk to my parents and, you know, friends and whoever, but I was never just saying like I'm bummed out. It was always the opposite, because I don't want people to worry about me, and I don't want people like being extra over me, you know what I mean? Nonetheless, I ended up weighing almost 400 pounds, and I didn't see it, but I did feel it. Like I could feel myself. I would try to go to my park and walk, and I couldn't even make it halfway around the park. I would try to walk around my neighborhood and the golf course and all that, and it was so hard. Soon it became a struggle to even walk from my house to my car, because I would try to drive my car around at least, you know, 2-3 times a week, just so it wouldn't die out, or my battery wouldn't die. And that became a struggle. And then soon after that, walking from my room to the living room became a struggle. Like lifting my legs up became a struggle. I would take showers for 45 minutes just in there with my back against the water and just leaning on that little towel rack, because it was so much and I didn't know what to do, and I didn't want to say anything because I don't know. I don't know why. I never told my parents or anything that it was getting that bad. Yeah, that went on, and it just got worse and worse and worse, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh, I skipped a whole situation. In October, I get a text or a call. I think it was a text or something like that, to call this number on this day and blah 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 blah. And I knew what it was. And so a couple of my friends that I've been talking to, they said they got it too, and they were, you know, everybody's speculating, what is it, are we gonna go back to work? But mind you, throughout this, probably in May or June and July, something like that, some of my friends had already started going back to work, because they were trying to social distance and bring people in slowly. And by October, I'm just like, yeah, I already knew. So that phone call was to tell, I was a lot of people on that call. It was a big conference call. I know it was over 20 people. It was probably closer to 30 or something people on the call that we were let go. Our positions were eliminated, or whatever they want to call it. So in October, the beginning of October, I got let go from my job that I had been at for, was it this year or last year? Would have been 15 years. Yeah. And it was expected. It was not a shock. I was actually cool with it. I felt like I was drowning at that job, and that also had a lot to do with the depression or things that brought it on, you know. I felt like I was drowning. I felt like I was not being heard. I felt like it was just a draining situation. You know, the word people like to throw around a lot is toxic. It was very toxic. And I just felt trapped. And I think a lot of people feel that way and they don't know how to get out of situations. And I had told myself that at the beginning of 2021, I was going to quit my job. I had already said that and I had it set in my mind. But it's different when something's forced upon you than when you do it yourself, you know? So that kind of, it sucked. And then it kind of started setting in that I wasn't going to see my friends anymore. I wasn't going to be doing something that I actually liked to do. As much as I was like happy to have been let go officially or whatever, I still was kind of like in this funk. Like it kind of made things go faster than I was expecting it to go. And I was just like, on top of everything that was going on with me physically, this happened and I was just like, man. So that was October. If you go onto my main channel, which is my name, Tiara David, and I'll put a link in the description box. I posted a couple of videos about 10 months ago when I got let go, and you can see where I was like weight wise and what I was talking about. You can hear the story about how I got let go. And I was cool with it. I honestly was not sad about losing my job. I was more sad about not being able to see my friends anymore, who really did become close like family. And yeah, that sucked a lot. So come the end of December, I still couldn't do anything. Everything's closed. We're all on, you know, the lockdowns and all this stuff going on. End of December, beginning of January, it had blown up. Like I literally was 300 and something pounds. I don't know. I believe I got up to the 390s. When everything went down, apparently I was like 388 or something like that. Yeah. So let's fast forward a little bit to January. I was at home and I was just having this, like, I couldn't sleep. Actually, the whole sleep problem started in 2020. Like, I couldn't breathe when I was laying down. I tried to lay on my side. I could not catch my breath. I just couldn't breathe at all when I laid on any type of way in the bed. So I started propping myself up. That worked for like 2 days, and then that wasn't working anymore. So I literally went to my dining room, got a chair, turned it backwards, and I leaned on the back of the chair, sitting on the side of my bed because I could not breathe and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't tell my mom that part until it was a little bit too late. But yeah, I couldn't, and I hadn't gotten sleep in I don't know how long. And so still going, the sleeping, I ended up sleeping on the couch, sitting up, and like leaning on a pillow for a while. And at the very, very, very end of it, probably like the week of like the 5th through the time that I went to the hospital, I was sleeping in a chair because there was no other way that I could sleep and breathe. And so I was like, I started panicking. I was already panicking, but I was just too hard-headed and too, I don't know, I don't want to say prideful, but I would say hard-headed to do anything about it. Didn't have any insurance, nothing. So I was like, what am I gonna do? So I'm talking myself up and I'm like, if it gets any worse, I'm calling 911. So it got worse. I was going to, what is it, January 9th, I think it was. I went to the living room and I sat on the couch. I fell asleep and I like was startled up and I was just sitting there. So I started watching a movie. I remember it was Roll Bounce. It was on TV and I'm watching, and all of a sudden my heart just started like fluttering, which it has done that before, but it started like seriously fluttering. And then I felt like, I don't know if it actually happened, but it felt like my heart stopped. And I was sitting there and thinking in my head, did my heart just stop? I can't breathe. I couldn't even like move to try to catch my breath. I was like, and it seemed like a whole minute, but it was probably like 10-15 seconds, but it seemed like forever, like everything was going in slow motion. And I was like, and then all of a sudden I did this big old and I freaked out. I was like, what just happened? So I was like, I can't do this, I can't do it. And I just called 911. And you know, they asked me what was going on and I told them I couldn't breathe. I said I haven't been sleeping and I literally can't breathe. I felt like my heart is fluttering and it felt like it had stopped. I said I don't know if that actually happened, but it felt like it did, and I couldn't catch my breath. And so this day it was super cold. I only could wear, like, I had a dress on because my clothes didn't fit. And I had on, I think I had on a jacket or something, and some house shoes because my shoes didn't fit. My feet, oh, I didn't even tell y'all, my feet were swollen, right? So I have an ankle that I fractured when I was younger, and it always kind of gets swollen if I eat too much salt or any alcohol or anything like that, but then it goes down. Well, this time it didn't go down. And now this started probably at the very end of December. Yeah, going into the situation. It went up my leg, up my knee, up my thighs, and it went down to my other leg, which would be my left leg. My left leg has always been fine, no problems. And then my left leg started to swell up and up to, you know, up my, to my knees, up to my thighs, and to my belly. At the end of it, before I called 911 around that time, the fluid inside of me was all the way up to my breast. Like I could squeeze the bottom part of my breast like this, and I would have fingerprints in my boobs and in my stomach. It felt like the reason why I couldn't walk and move my legs, and like even getting in and out of the shower was a task, but it was the most comfortable place, was because I didn't know, but I had fluid all inside my body, and I was basically drowning from the inside out. I was drowning inside, and I literally couldn't lift my leg up to put my sock on or lift my leg up to put my pants on, so I'd have to like figure out ways to get them on. So yeah, I went to the 911. The ambulance came, took me to the hospital. They call it pitting edema, and it was literally all over my body. Within, I would say 2 days, yeah, within 2 days, I lost so much weight. By the time I left the hospital, I was down 111 pounds, 111, 112 pounds. And that was, I went in January 10th. I got out January 20th or the 21st. And so I had lost over 100 pounds in less than 2 weeks. And my body was sore. My body is still to this day sore. My legs don't feel right. My muscles were gone. Like I always had really defined legs, like my calves, my legs were always really strong. like I had no muscle, and it's still a little like I'm trying to build it back up. Yeah, everything was different. My skin is like loose. I mean, it's 100 pounds. I was that way, and then to go down and lose that much weight, of course your skin's gonna be a little loose. My skin shedding still. It is, what is the date? August, and to this day my skin is still shedding. Like, when I tell you shedding, when I got out of the hospital about not even a week later, it looked like, I don't know if you were ever, like when you were little, if you ever put glue on your hands and let it dry and it looked like dead skin and you peel it off. My skin was like that all over. My legs, my feet right now are going through issues with the peeling skin. My hands, my fingers, all that. A little bit on my arms. It was just peeling off. Yeah, the muscle situation, it was just a lot. So what they told me was that I have congestive heart failure. And they're saying, I'm not claiming it. They said I'm borderline diabetic, but they're giving me like diabetes medicine. I don't know about all that. I check my blood sugar every day, just to make sure that it is not crazy, and it hasn't been. So I don't know. They never came out and officially said you're diabetic, so I'm not claiming that, but they did say that I have congestive heart failure, and that's why sometimes my chest gets real tight and all like the fluttering that I was having. That's what all that was, the fluid buildup, because my heart's not pumping the way that it's supposed to pump. It's straining and it's working too hard. So yeah, I was in there for from the 10th to the 20th, I want to say. We'll just say that. And I got sent home. I have a bunch of medications. I would show y'all, but I don't know where my box is right now. No, it's right here. This bag right here is full of medications. When I say it's full, I mean literally to the brim. It's full. And if you're worrying, if you see address, don't worry, I don't live there anymore. Yeah, the Zaduos and Trestos, they got me taking prenatals, spironolactone, I don't know how to say that, B12 vitamins, glipizide. I take, okay, my camera cut off. I take so many medications, I really honestly don't know how many. It's a lot. But I'm slowly trying to, you know, get weaned off of some of them. The Lasix are good. They make me pee a lot. Other issues that was going on with that, like my hair started falling out a lot. My skin was already having issues, but it got bad and it's real dry. Like, I always now have this peeling on my forehead. Like I told you, I'd be shedding. I didn't have that before. Like, there's a bunch of other issues that came along with all this stuff, and along with just trying to walk steady. My hip, like what do you call that, the joint where your leg meets your body, your torso, it is in a lot of pain. My legs sometimes still, but especially when I got out of the hospital, were like wobbly. I felt like what is the little deer, is it Bambi? Yeah, I felt like that. And I got scared, and living by myself it honestly kind of made me nervous. I felt like when I got here goes the outside people again. When I don't know if I talked about that on here. I got in a car wreck a few years ago and my car was totaled. And I was literally scared to drive, but I didn't have a choice because I had to go to work and stuff. But I was scared to drive. Like, that's how I am, or was, with living by myself, because I didn't want to, like, you know, had I not taken that gasp of air and just went to sleep and died on my couch, nobody probably would have known anything, because there were times where I didn't answer my phone because I was feeling so crappy and depressed. And then the pandemic, nobody was coming over. So I would have probably at least been on that couch for a week. Or on my chair in my other room, or in my bed in my room, and nobody would have known. So that freaked me out. So yeah. So I just kind of made up my mind, and as much as I didn't want to, I told my mom I would move with her. So I packed up everything and I moved to North Carolina. So I'm here, North Carolina. Hello. I'm in the Charlotte area, if anybody lives in the Charlotte area. I'm not in Charlotte, but I'm in the area. Yeah, I moved. I have anxiety, like now, dealing with my mom and my grandpa. I'm not used to living with people. I've been living on my own for a long time, and it's hard dealing with personalities. It's hard having somebody who doesn't understand depression or understand women. It's hard when you have someone else that's dealing with their own issues and you're still trying to figure your own out. So we all have our own space, but it's not my house. You know what I'm saying? I went from a 2-bedroom apartment, living room, dining room, kitchen, my own bathroom, to this room. And I don't have my dad here anymore. My dad's still in Texas. And every time I talk about my dad, I start to cry. I'm not gonna do it. I don't even know why. It's like I have separation anxiety really bad. Even though when I was in Texas, my dad and I didn't see each other every day. Sometimes we didn't talk every day. Like, just knowing he was, you know, at the most 45 minutes away, I could make it in like 30 minutes. Just knowing he was up the road was good. You know, if I ever needed anything, if something happened, my dad was always right there. You know, my brother as well. He was literally a straight drive up the highway from me, because I lived right off the highway. Like, my apartment was looking at the highway, and I could just go, not even a block, get on the highway, go straight up the road to my brother. And I don't have that anymore. I have 2 other brothers that are still in Texas, my nieces and nephews. I wasn't really close, or I'm not really close to my brother Damon and my brother Lamont, or my nieces and nephews, which it really sucks, but it's reality. We didn't grow up together. Me and my brother have been together since the day I was born. Me and my brother have really never been apart. And my dad and I, you know, he was in the military, but he was always there. So yeah, I'm really having bad, like, I guess you call it separation anxiety. I'm not crying anymore, but I have this tear that never dropped, and it's irritating me. I just miss my people, you know? That's it. It ain't got nothing to do with Texas. Dang. I had like a tear that was in my eye that just wouldn't drop. But anyway, yeah, that's the only thing I'm missing. Like, I could care less about the state, about the job, about any of that. My family and my friends, that's it. But I'm here now. Now I'm just trying to figure out what to do, how to do it, trying to look for a new doctor. I still get some of my medicine for a year, but you know, my other stuff is running down, so I gotta get identification so that I can get some kind of health care. And I don't have an appointment to get my driver's license until freaking September. And I'm trying to get on some kind of workout thing. I really want to start slow and build up, because when I tell you, my legs are shot, like my hips, my feet, all that, it hurts just to walk sometimes. And it shouldn't be like this. I'm only 38, you know, but I can't blame anybody. I can't really be mad, because I did it to myself. You know, a lot of things I didn't know was going on, but I didn't check it when I noticed things going wrong, and I should have. But you know, I can beat myself up, or I can just figure it out, and that's what I'm gonna do, figure it out. I know I'm long-winded, and I know I've been talking for a long time, but thank you to all of you guys who continue to subscribe to my channel, even though I haven't uploaded in, I feel like, well over a year. People are still dropping comments. I appreciate the comments. I do see them. Sometimes I see them late, but I do see them. You know, thank you for just continuing to stick in there. And for those new subscribers, thank you for joining the Push family. I'm hoping that I can get over whatever it is that's making me not pick up the camera, and just pick up the camera, even if it's just this, or just you watching me run on the treadmill, or not run, I ain't gonna be running for a while, but walking on the treadmill or walking outside. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys are doing okay. If you guys have any input or questions or concerns or ideas, or if you live in the Charlotte area, hit me up in the comments. You can look me up on Instagram. All my stuff, links to my channels, and all that will be in the description box below. And I will see you guys hopefully sooner than this past time. And I'll see you then in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you later.